And welcome back to the hottest married show in the world. It's your man, John D, aka Too Much, and my wife, Do. How are you doing today?
I'm so hungry.
Really? Why are you so hungry?
I don't know. I'm super hungry. However, I just had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and so now I'm feeling better. Because I was about to be mean.
Why would you want to be mean?
I get hangry.
Yeah, I know you do. And so, was it good? What kind of jelly did you have?
I had grape jelly. It was so good. It's something like, y'all, you know, it's something about that peanut butter mixed with that daggum jelly. That room temperature peanut butter, that cold jelly, that soft bread. It's just ridiculous. Sorry.
Yeah. So, I wanted to ask you a question about this process of getting to know me again. What's been the most beneficial part?
The most beneficial part about getting to know you?
Yeah, I guess, yeah, getting to know me and creating this relationship, from this view that we have now. Because it's definitely different from before.
I think the periods of arguments is better. It's lessened. Learning you has helped me to learn more about how often I utilize silence and trying to find other ways to manage the disagreements, minimize the disagreements too. It's like learning how you think about things. It's frustrating to me sometimes because I don't really understand it, but because I know that we've talked about it, it helps me to, like, when stuff happens, I'm like, okay, he didn't mean to do that. Or even if I don't understand why you did it, I know that it wasn't an intent to get on my nerve. Doesn't mean you don't get on my nerves. It just means that I know that you didn't intend on, pushing my buttons necessarily. So that helps.
That listening to that, sometimes when I look at you, Bruno,
cut it out at 3 minutes.
No, it's all right. Like when I look at you sometimes, when I'm like, what is she thinking? Like you look totally disgruntled, right? But in my head, I'm like, I hope she knows I'm trying my best to not sound like I want to make her upset. And it's like, I hope she takes the best from it. Because, sometimes I realize why I talk too much, because I feel like I haven't given enough information to change the energy of the room. Like, oh my gosh. And then it's like, I'm sinking. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's typically my my MO. If I feel like I've lost the room with you, I'm trying my best to explain it so you can be like, oh, that's what he meant. Meaning sometimes it's just like, I wish he shut up.
You just need to abandon ship.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad that you know that everything, it's not intended for you to receive in like any of it, like to be that way. And, when you do receive it that way, it's like, what did I say? What did I do? How can I fix it?
So, as an example, last night I was a little under the influence. And when I'm under the influence, even a bit, everything John says to me, it sounds like it's supposed to be a fight. And so he said something to me yesterday that made me really upset. It made me feel like he flipped the script on some stuff we had talked about, and I did not like it at all. So I didn't say anything else. I wasn't going to engage any further in it. And when we got home, I just went straight to sleep. Now this, because in my head, I'm like, okay, Kanika, you know you're about to blow this up even further than what it's probably going to end up having to be. And if you talk to this man and he says one more thing that tips you off, you're going to blow. So just go to sleep. So I went to sleep knowing that whatever I was going to say to you or how it could turn out would probably be nothing of what it was meant to be. And then this morning, he comes and peeks his head in the door after I woke up. And he is like, this is what I was thinking last night. And these are the things that I was experiencing and where my head was. And then I was like, okay, so what's funny is that none of that stuff mattered to me. None of that stuff made me mad. It was one sentence he said that had nothing to do with what he was talking about. And I was like, this made me upset. And we had a conversation about it, and then it was over. But had it been that night, it would have been a catastrophe. Yeah, for real. It would have been that argument, and then it would have been the next morning of being awkward and annoyed until it wore off. And so it's helped me even when I'm mentally compromised a bit. I still understand that I need to slow down and maybe draw back and then come back to it later on when I have a clear head and he's had a clear head. So that has definitely helped me. Because I remember early in the game, I used to tell you, like, you would be mad at me and I'd be like, no, we have to work it out. We can't. You would try to break and be like, okay, I need to not talk, or I need to get out of here. And I'd be like, no, we have to handle it in the moment. We got to talk about it when it happens. So that, and you used to run, and I would be
because I didn't want to say anything that could, like, because, I used to say things that could be really mean. And I was like, maybe this isn't the best way to do this, So that was me even trying to protect us, like, because I'm like, oh, the worst thing you want to do is say something that you don't mean. And even though if you said it, like, it never was supposed to get out, and it's like, how do you get the person to trust you again? And it's like, now I'm to the point where I don't think I can really say anything mean. I can just say, hey, I felt this way before, and this is when these things happen, just to try to get you an idea, like, where I am or where I was. So it was good to listen to that, because I was thinking, like, last night, like, I was trying to figure out, am I supposed to go in there and, like, am I supposed to hold you and say, hey, babe, I don't know what I did, but I'm sorry. Like, I was like, am I not moving fast enough? So, like, when you said, you just needed your break, and I was like, yes, I did the right thing. I was like, but and in the same time, I'm like, how could it have gotten better? But, I guess I'll say this. I routinely, if I know that you're under the influence, I'm going to just wait and wait a day.
Just wait. Just wait. Because I'm ready to blow up. And it, that was my first time of saying, I'm not going to say anything because I'm recognizing. So, yeah, it was like, you did a good job.
Yeah, I really, see, that's what I'm saying. I think that if we just kept working on it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, how people say, well, I've never heard anybody say you perfected communication. But that's, just imagine if you could perfect communication. Then that means nothing would need to be said. Like, we wouldn't overtalk. Our message could be received. So I feel like if everybody worked on that, like you and I, at some point, I told you, we're going to be able to go up into a room full of people, and we'll be able to have a whole conversation without saying anything. And that, like, to me, I feel like just because you and I are on that level, and that's what I feel like the only way we can get on that level is if my most insecure moments, like, or when I'm feeling like, a similar sadness that you felt before, and you be like, okay, I know this right here probably bothered John. Like you could watch something, you're like, oh yeah, this right here got John right here. I know this because you and I spoken so much. You like, he's not afraid to cry, but I can see why. So that's what I want. Like you and I to just sharpen that sword to the point where it's like you can just tell, like something's troubling me. Like John, I live with you this long. I know when something's wrong. Other than me just like looking totally different, like I can be like, hey baby, like what's wrong, John? Like you can tell. So I know that comes with work, but I don't think that as adults we work on those goals. And I feel like if you and I work together on something where we could be so cold at it, and we travel through life and we're this cold at it, it's like, what else can we make cold? And it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you'll enjoy talking to me. Like I just told you yesterday, what I was planning to do is I want to engage you in conversations that you want to have versus the ones that I want to have.
Yeah, his conversations. Oh my God. They're not bad conversation topics. It's just a lot of them we just be repeating the same ideas. He just comes and gives me updates of more people who've confirmed the stuff that we've talked about before, and I'm like, oh, okay. But it's good conversation.
I just, like I said, I want you to be engaged.
Yeah, I got you.
Me getting other people engaged is way easier than my wife. My wife was like,
weird.
John, I just don't care about you saving the world this week.
I guess because I hear daily the conversation and other people don't hear it daily. I don't know.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay.
That's what I said. I told you. I wrote about it and said that my wife is my punching bag. Yeah. But again, it's one of those things where I want to find back. If I was a cold communicator, I'll be able to talk about things that you were interested in, and you wouldn't even know that's what I was doing, because I wanted you to be happy without you like. He's stressing me out. He's making me think too much. Like, I don't care about that, John. Like, I just want to drink and just like let this wind blow and let the music play in the background. I'm not here to think. So that's what I'm saying.
I think that's the other. I'm going to hold that, and then I'm going to ask you to answer the same question.
What's the question?
What was your question? Your question was like, what's been good about, I think it was.
Yeah, I wanted, okay, so what's been good to watch your recovery time. Like I can see that you're trying. Okay. I could easily say I know that I'm putting in the work, so that's probably why, but I can see that you're putting the effort to like let me kind of like figure it out, cuz sometimes I remember one time I was going back and forth.
Oh my God. It's a long hallway from the living room to the bedroom, y'all. This dude kept going into the bedroom, closing the door, and then coming back out. And another thing.
And then like it was like I was trying to in my mind I was giving her enough information for her to understand. And I was like, no matter how good or how right I was in my head, if it's not delivered right, who's going to receive it? And it took like 5 or 6 times going through the door. It was just like, it was almost like an abusive relationship. Like, I got to keep listening to this. Like, and she just sat on the couch, like rocking like an old lady. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, if he comes back out here again, I'm going to just scream.
I'm going to throw something at him. Yeah, he kept coming out. He was like, I just feel like, well, if you just, and I was like,
but now I feel like I'm getting to the point where I can express myself without, I guess, sounding crazy. Mm-hmm. It's like obnoxious, and that's what I want. Like I want, like if I'm about to talk to you, like you can even check this out. This is how cold I want us to be. Like where if I say, hey babe, and you be like, and I can see how your leg is going to cross on how I need to talk then.
Oh, this man told me what'd you say if I crossed it right?
Oh, like depending on where you are. So me learning body language, a person can be closed off to the person they're talking to, whether it's like, if you cross your legs toward them or away. And I watched my wife like over the course of a week to try to see if this is really true. And I was watching the kind of conversations I was having. And I could watch her legs like, okay, this is not working right now. And typically when her legs are closed off is because she's on the phone, like playing a game or watching whatever she's watching. So she's not in the mood to be talking about nothing serious.
Let me tell y'all, and this brings me on to what I was going to say before. I don't know if you all have this in your relationships, but I'm very, very laid back. I don't need to know too much about what's going to happen, next. I do like to have a drink and listen, have the breeze and listen to music. John's mind is always racing. There's always a conversation that needs to happen. There's always something that we're supposed to be improving upon. And he is like cognizant of every moment, what is happening next. Like, it's like he can't turn his brain off to be able to just enjoy. Like when we go outside to walk, I remember he used to talk so much when he first got back here. And it for me to have been in the house with just the kids, and the kids would like go in their rooms, and so a lot of my day was just me and my thoughts. And then for someone to come back in the house and it's like constantly talking and thinking. We used to go on a walk to take the dog out, and I would say, breathe in the air. You just breathe it in, because it was my way of making him stop. That's what I like to do.
Hey, you know what's so crazy? I found it a way for, like, it's definitely beneficial anyway. Like, you should do that, breathe in nature, breathe through your nose and blow out. So, like, I do that even when I'm not with her. So she introduced an area that I was trying to improve anyway.
Look, so now I make him think, even when I wasn't supposed to be making him think.
And for real, breathing.
Look, we were breathing in something.
Techniques are really good.
Dallas said, it smells sweet over here. John was like, it's probably the honeysuckle. I said, oh my God. Just
But I'm saying, like, I did enjoy it, but I'm saying, it's dope. Like,
but it's like, and we were walking one day, and he wanted to have a conversation with me about something that bothered him. And I got really upset because I said, that's not what the walk is for.
Yeah, I just found that out.
The walk is not for real conversations. The walk is for light conversations, no stress, checking in with one another. But if it's going to lead to serious conversation where I have to focus, I don't want it, not on my walk.
And I'm still learning that too. I'll say that we haven't had any of that in a long time.
We haven't. And so there are times where I purposefully want to check out, and John does not check out. And so that is one thing that I would like to eventually condition him to do, is take time where he is consciously, it's like he's thinking about it. I want you to really say, this is the time to turn off.
Well, I think I can tell you when I feel like the machine has started, I promise I'll take off. I mean, even in the beginning, because I already know once it starts, we good. Because I'm going to continue to practice on this, but I will probably have to designate some time where that's.
And not to be, dark about it all, but if I die tomorrow, I don't want you to have pushed for the machine before you're able to really turn off and just exist with me. You know what I mean?
I enjoy my moments with you. To me, I feel like as long as I'm becoming, like, trying to learn you're listening to me. That's why I was like, why was I talking so much? Because I was trying to catch you up.
Yes.
With like everything, so you can like get to a point where you be like, you know what, I understand now.
Hey, while we were apart, we would communicate through Marco Polo. So you would record a message, and you could go back and forth and listen to it live. But because we were on different time zones, sometimes that wasn't the case. But I tell you that we were still a married couple on that Marco Polo. There would be arguments, all kind of stuff. But the benefit of it for me was I could just stop talking. Mm-hmm. I could just end the conversation. I wouldn't respond, or I would end the app and then it would be over. And when he came back, he was like, I got something for that ass. When I say he gave me everything that probably was built up from 18 months of him wanting to tell me about this, and this is my thought on that, and this is what I was thinking about this. And it was that was hard to be able to regulate the amount of thought I had to have throughout the day to being with someone who was like pushing as much as they could to get as much out as they could. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, it's definitely a balancing act. But up until this point, you still are constantly on.
Because I haven't gotten to this sweet spot. Like, I'm looking for the sweet spot. And again, I feel like I don't think I stress you out as much as I used to.
No, you don't.
So to me, I feel like as long as everybody's good, I don't feel burnt out. As long as I got this energy and it's going toward a healthy way, like how can I improve? I feel like, you know, if you start seeing something like, hey, John, I've noticed that this is happening, then okay. But I really feel like I feel like I'm like that between that 12 and 15 years of age of energy. Like, I play basketball, like I'll practice every day in the summertime, you know, like all day. So that's where I am. Like, how can I get there? So, and I feel like I'm just exercising my brain, right?
Okay. I'm with that.
Yeah. So I feel like when I master communication, you're going to be so proud of me.
If I'm still here.
What do you mean if you still here? Look, I'm hawking this mug down.
Okay.
For real.
All right.
Look, remember I told you I had a situation recently where a guy raised his voice and I asked him why he was yelling.
Yeah.
So that just shows you that was like real live action, no practice, no, you know, like, I mean, no plan for that. It was like, it was really happening. I was like, this guy, he really doesn't want this. He don't want these problems. I didn't say all of that, but I thought it would be funny to tell you, like, when I was driving away, I was like, he really don't understand.
He don't understand you karate kick people in their chest, do he?
That was a long time ago, and that's still being held against me. Come on. Son.
Look, in all of this,
yeah, I got these guys. They are out here wrestling right in front
in
of
all
us.
the discussion about fight. Look, when I say Bruno is a terrorist, he was over here biting kicks in his bow tie. Like, he'll do anything to annoy him. I don't know what it is. But anyway.
Yeah. So I want to thank you for having the patience to deal with somebody who is so gung-ho about being better.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Thank you for being patient with somebody who's just trying to be.
Just trying to be.
I'm just trying to be in this life, in this moment. Like, I imagine that it can be frustrating to be someone so focused on future and then be with someone who's really just focused on the moment in front of them.
No, so I guess with that, with me is, I don't, like, if I prepare, then I can't have any mistakes. Less mistakes. That's what I want to. I'm like, I can't prepare what's going to happen, but if it's something within my control, I want to, like, be prepared for what's to come that I know. Like, if I know this is happening and then I'm not prepared for it, it's like, John, you too old to be like doing that. So it's like when I watch you do it and you just recover from it, I'm like, I can't do that. And I'm like, now you give me like a type of anxiety, like how does she just wake up the next day like, oh, I got a meeting, I'm late for it, hold on.
No, I don't be late for
no,
my meetings.
know, but I'm just saying, like, it's, you could have things booked because you don't.
And I just go look at 7 when I log in. I'll be like, oh, I got a meeting.
I know, but that means
11
like
and 2.
Nothing else is important other than your job. Because if I tell you, I had this plan, you was like, no, you don't, because I got this. I'm like, you said you didn't have nothing. Oh, I just, that's what I'm saying. Like, how do we fix that part? Because to me, I feel like it would make life so much easier for you.
I feel like my life is easy though.
I know, but you don't want it to, like, to me, I feel like you compromise everybody's time then.
How?
Like nothing can be done without. It's got to be perfect. Like if I say, "Hey, get your butt on!" Dang it, leave, get away. Anyways, they done made me forget what I was gonna say.
You said because I live the life the way that I do, I compromise everybody.
Yeah, you do. Like, so if I want to take you out for lunch to something that I got reservations for, I have to tell you in advance.
Yeah.
My point is I can't surprise you because
you want my schedule, my work schedule to be set.
It's not that if I ask you, hey, do you have anything to do tomorrow? And you say no.
How many times does that happen?
It could happen every day because you don't know what you're doing tomorrow.
I mean, but if you say, what are you doing tomorrow? Then I can go and look and say, oh, I'm not doing anything, or I am.
Well, recently we just had something and we planned for you to be available. And
well, that wasn't
happened.
My fault. That was unexpected.
And then you said tomorrow at this time. And then you wasn't ready for that. That's what I'm saying. My point is I don't want you to have stress. How can I do that? How can I fix? That's the part of the husband aspect I want you to know. Like, if you move like smooth and you don't have to worry about hiccups, that means you're doing something else really good. Like you don't have that stress pulling on you.
I feel like the majority of my time I do be moving smooth.
Well, I wanted to like move so smooth that they can't ignore you anymore. So that's how can we do that?
Who ignores me?
Like when you're that good. When you're that good.
Oh no, I want people to ignore me. That's the thing. Y'all, I'm probably like I am the type of person that I want to do really well at my work, but I don't want to make so many waves that people start looking at me and being like, we need to put Kanika on this and on it. No,
I'm talking about, you're talking about responsibility. I'm talking about that you're so good in your craft that people are looking for you.
Oh, I don't necessarily need people looking for me.
Well, that's the reason why people keep telling you how much you make. That's why people keep telling you how much they're gonna pay you. But I'm saying if you're that good, you can say this is how much I'm worth.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Like you have a skill set that I promise the way that I evaluate people in so many different capacities. Like you have a skill set that can be polished to the point where you can tell people this is how much it's going to cost. And I just feel like you're just under the radar because you don't understand how close you are. Like it's almost like you have a set of skills.
I'm Liam Neeson out here.
Like for real. And you like, you know what? I prefer for somebody to tell me that I can make this much.
I don't care about that as long as my needs are met. I just want to be able to enjoy.
But my point is, imagine if you could do whatever you wanted to do in half the time and you tripled your money.
But I love what I do.
My point is, it'll be on your time though.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, if you say, hey, you know, I only want to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays between 9 and 3. And he was like, you know how good you have to be for them? Like, you know, that's what she said. I mean, she's going to work for us. It's like the Kyrie Irving syndrome. He's the coldest basketball player ever. Why? Because he got the same pay and he didn't work half the time because he's that good. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, people like, you know, you got to love the game. Yeah, you got to love the game. You got to love the game in yourself. Yeah. You know, I just feel like as much money they make, people feel like if they had that money, they would be different. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I have friends that say they want to become millionaires and billionaires because they're going to change the world, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how are they going to do it different than the other ones. The other ones that are millionaires and billionaires, they don't want to change the world.
I don't think everybody does just because they're millionaires or billionaires.
Okay, so you're telling me that Oprah Winfrey didn't want to change the world?
Maybe.
Like I'm just saying, like that's what they talk about, her making schools in Africa, and that's her. So my point is the people that don't have these millions and billions, but they're striving to go get this money, even if they achieve it, how are they going to change the world? Like, what does that look like that these other people that's been millionaires and billionaires way longer?
I think everybody, you know, can can impact the world a different way, and then collectively it can change the world. Like, you're not going to go out and do something, all of a sudden the entire world is changing for the better. I think it's all of the people working on different projects to collectively improve the conditions of the world for everyone is where it is. So there's not a billionaire or whoever that's going to change the entire world unless they, end world hunger. That would be awesome. But if there's some that go and they create schools, that's great. If there's some and they put money behind research to like utilize that, what was it? It was like a bacteria that this girl found, or a virus or something that eats up plastic. Like if they, so it helps with, pollution. So, if you think about the people who they put their money towards their interest in improving that situation, how it can improve the world, then collectively, we can. But I don't think that there's anybody that's all of a sudden going to have like the magic bullet to make the world a better place just off of them. Like, no.
So tell me, who would you consider somebody who's been instrumental to changing the world that's been rich? You don't think Mark Zuckerberg changed the world?
What, through Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah. Well, not just Facebook alone. Like,
maybe I think with him it's indirect. I don't think that what he did,
I thought he was trying to connect everybody.
Yeah, I don't know what his intention was, but I know that a residual of, effect of his work was like during the pandemic, so many people were able to stay in contact with their families when they couldn't before. People have been able to grow businesses, and increase their worth, their net worth, or whatever. I think that has been very helpful. I don't know if it was ever his intention to help people, launch their own businesses, but it came out of it. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't have foreseen this pandemic, but he definitely kept people in touch. Like my aunt passed away during the height of the pandemic, and we attended, in quotation marks, her funeral via Facebook Live. So I think that he definitely, his work has positively impacted the world, but there were negatives of his work as well.
Yeah, you're gonna always get that though.
Yeah. But I don't know if his intention of how he was going to do it was really to have the impact that he did have. But it did have a good impact on the world, I would say.
What about Elon Musk?
What does he do exactly?
He has the space station or whatnot, but I
don't see the point of that. Improve this Earth. Like, quit trying to run to the next one.
But do you know, somebody said, all you need is this amount of money to be able to stop world hunger. He said, if you show me how to do it, I'll do it. Mm-hmm. Or he said, show me how to do it. Like,
nobody did.
No, like, that's what I'm saying. So like, he's like, you act like I don't want to do that. Show me how to do it. Yeah. How it makes sense.
Okay. Well, I think that some people should get together and do that, because I feel like the whole thing about a space station and like Bezos doing the little trips to out of the atmosphere and stuff, I feel like that's just tossing money into the air to be able to have experiences, or saying you did something different.
That's evolution though.
It is, but at the same time, when you're doing those things and there are people who are without, I just feel like...
You don't think they're bots yet?
I don't know.
I think it's the distraction, because to me, I feel like this. If anybody has that much money, like, why wouldn't you try to do that? I don't think that's possible. Like, or there's nobody sitting down saying, let's do this to make that happen. Because wouldn't you think that Jay-Z and Beyonce and Tiger Woods or LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Like they would want their name etched in history where they made hunger, like people.
Right.
Like why isn't it? It's not like we're making these great ass ideas. I'm sure they thought about it. Well, how can they do it?
Yeah, everything seems simpler when you're standing where I'm standing. It's like, why aren't you putting your money toward this? Or I'm just saying that I don't think that when people say that they want to improve the world, they want to I don't think that everybody wants to be a billionaire so that they can improve the world. I don't. I think some people do it because.
Well, I'm talking about older people, like our age, not younger people.
Well, I think that it's really just based on what their interests are, improving the world around those interests, and then collectively the world itself will be better. But you don't have that happening, so I don't know.
No doubt. Well,
what are your thoughts?
I feel like people that chase money think money is a part of that thing. That's why I was trying to show you how all of these billionaires, like 100 million years from now, everybody would like such and such stop world hunger. Like who wouldn't want to be that person? So I feel like it's a distraction to the point of having people to say, I need to become a millionaire so I can do this, this, and this. And instead of focusing on what can you really be good at and just that's why I told you that communication, you just keep working on something where somebody says, hey, we need your set of skills over here. How much is it going to cost? So I felt like if we can motivate people to just focus on a set of skills and make it so good, I think it would change how we view life because everybody think it's money. And remember I told you that the Dave Chappelle thing when he was like he can go around the country with no wallet and just go to comedy clubs and perform and they're going to pay him. He knows he's that good. So if people just worked on that stuff and they became that good, I think that it would be like that effect would change the way people looked at things instead of chasing money. Because just think about it. When you're poor, from our community, like you said earlier, or in another episode where you said that we'll make our kids, make them feel like they got it, but we're not paying all of these other things, but our kids is in the freshest clothes or the freshest shoes. It's like we're deceiving them, making them feel like you have to look like this. And it's like, what message are you trying to send? So it's like, if we were more honest with our kids, like, yes, we are poor. We're going to like make sure we put our money toward the things that we need. Then we could change the mindset of the kids. Like, oh, we don't need that. It's like, oh, even if you talked about a kid's like, look, he got Jordans on and they airs off. And it's like, oh, shoot, what's more important?
He said their airs off.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can we show people that it's not about the way you look? It's about when we're going to stop the curses in everybody's family, and everybody's family has one. It's like, are you going to just keep sweeping it under the rug? Or are you going to, say, okay, this wasn't my problem, but I have to fix it or my kids is going to have to fix it. So to me, I feel like just keep working and on this something until you get that good where people like, you know what? I guess I can do that.
Okay, so you're a billionaire.
Uh-huh.
What are you going to do to improve the world?
I don't know. I would create a team of people to figure that out. I didn't because to me, I feel like if you leave it to the community, then they can't say, John, that was because these people are just like you said, these is what they want to do. So you got these unlimited resources. You guys have to do good. If you don't do good, then this didn't work. But I'm willing to do that, because to me, like, I only need what I need in my family and just the want to be around y'all. And I'm good because I can be anywhere, So, yeah, the money I'm sure will come, but I feel like we definitely need to put together a team to see if that's even possible because I don't think it's possible. I think it's just an idea to make people keep chasing something that's not possible. It's like the hamster wheel. I'm going to be a millionaire. For what? Like, what are you going to do so you can show everybody you can buy these things? But what are you going to do to make the world better? I don't care about that. Like, it's got to be more than, the materials for you to get there. Like the people that became millionaires is because it was more, they didn't do it because like they just wanted to be rich. It was a combination of things that just motivated them. But if that's just your want, it's a wrap. I don't believe it's going to happen. But we're going to close this show down. This was, I guess, a rant. Was that a rant?
I don't know. Was it?
No, just me trying to tell people that money's a distraction.
You love to say that too.
I do, because I want people to be better than the chase of the dollar.
I know. Better than the chase of the dollar.
Anyways, is there anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
Why don't you give your shout out first?
I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife. I could not be in this place without her. I know when I see award shows and people like, I want to give a shout out to my wife, and I can understand it a lot more than ever now. You just don't know the support you need to get to where you need to get. Like, I know where I was as a man, just a few years ago, and to where I am. I know that, like, if I feel like I have so much more to improve, I can only imagine before I was on this journey to become better, what she had to deal with. She dealt with like the flyest caveman.
He was dressed really well.
And it was like, I just was so stuck in thinking I knew everything, just like in typical man. But I am open to learn, and I don't think I could have done that without her. I look back, just through all my experiences, like, she believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself. And I don't know what she believed in, but I know the person that I am today. I'm happy that, she got through that shit.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome. I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to her name is Mama Shu. She's out of Highland Park in Detroit. And when I'm thinking about what Dallas and I always talked about, what we might want to do, our little part of changing the world, it was to create a neighborhood where it was like, the people who live there could work there. You had a library, you had your laundromat, you had your grocery store, all of these different things, so that people could live and love their neighborhood and help build in it, and it would be affordable and what have you. So there's this woman who her son was tragically killed in a hit and run at the age of 2. And she kind of looked around her neighborhood in Highland, and she was like, it needs to be better than this. And so she started buying up property. She bought her house there and built it up. And then she started buying other, parcels of land. And over time, they have just started trying to build it up into this village, a urban oasis is what she calls it. And she's really excited about it, and listening to her, I'm excited about it. Like, she pulled engineers and artists and urban farmers and volunteers and donors from everywhere, and to help build this village. And so this summer they have some things going on to help continue the building of the village. And she's like hiring people 14 to 24 to do this work. Sir, I can hear all of that. Yes. And so she's hiring like 14 to 24-year-olds that live in Highland Park to do this work over the summer with a lot of different types of jobs. And so I thought that was great, because she's like trying to put the money back in the hands of the people who live in the community. But it's an awesome idea. Like, she wants a homework house where kids can come and eat, and they get help with homework, and they have a place to go. She wants a market, and those things that community should have, but they just don't. And I think that it's a beautiful vision, and it's her little way of improving the world. And it reminded me so much of conversations Dallas and I have had that I want to give her a shout out. So my suggestion is John is going to put the Avalon, it's called the Avalon Village. He's going to put their link on the website. But what I also love is that they have an Amazon wish list. And he's going to include that link too. And you can click on there and see some of the things that they need and purchase it and send it to them. Which we plan to do the same because I just happen to be scrolling and I see that they have one. So it's everything. It's like generators and charging stations for iPads, but it's also like kits for creating crystals or science projects for kids. And so it ranges a lot of different prices. And we can all do a little bit to help build up that community. So even if you don't have lavish dreams for how you want to change the world, you can help somebody else with their dream on how to change the world. So that's who I want to give a shout out to.
No doubt. Well, everybody, attack the day with relentless tenacity. Bend all opportunities to your will. Be great on purpose. Boom.